real story behind the Trojan War between myth and history. Everyone knows the story of the Trojan War. A beautiful woman, a wooden horse, a 10-year siege, and the fall of a mighty city. But what if much of what we know is wrong, or at least half true? The Trojan War sits in the strange zone between legend and reality, where mythology meets archaeology, and where history has been rewritten for centuries. This is the real story behind the Trojan War, and it's far more fascinating and mysterious than anything you've seen in a movie. 1. The myth we all know. Let's begin with the famous version. According to Greek mythology, the Trojan War started because of a woman, Helen of Sparta, the wife of King Menelaus. She was taken or seduced by Paris, Prince of Troy. Her abduction led to war. The Greeks, led by Menelaus' brother Agamemnon, launched a massive expedition to retrieve her. Heroes like Achilles, Odysseus, Ajax, and Patroclus joined the fight. The war lasted 10 years. Troy finally fell when the Greeks tricked the Trojans by hiding soldiers inside a wooden horse. The Trojans brought it into the city, and by night, it was over. The myth ends with destruction, revenge, and tragedy. It's epic. It's poetic. But is any of it true? 2. Homer's epic. Fiction or fact? Our main source for the Trojan War is Homer's Iliad, an epic poem written around 750 BCE. The events of the war supposedly happened 500 years earlier, around 1200 BCE. That's like writing about the year 1500 today, without books, only oral tradition. Homer's Iliad focuses mostly on a few weeks of the war, not the whole conflict. It includes gods and goddesses fighting on the battlefield, divine interventions, and mythical weapons. So most historians treat the Iliad as literature, not a record of real events. But hidden in the poem are clues that might be based on something real. 3. Did Troy actually exist? For centuries, people believed Troy was just a myth. Then came Heinrich Schliemann, a German businessman and amateur archaeologist. In the 1870s, he began digging in northwestern Turkey, and what he found changed everything. He uncovered the ruins of a city near modern-day Hisarlik. Layer after layer of ancient settlements, one stacked on top of the other. At least 9 major cities, built and destroyed over time. One of them, Troy 6 or 7, showed signs of violent destruction around 1200 BCE, the time the Trojan War supposedly happened. Could this be the real Troy? Many believe so. 4. A real war, but not over Helen. If there was a war, historians agree, it probably wasn't over love. That's poetic license. 5. The Bronze Age collapse. Around 1200 BCE, the Mediterranean world changed forever. Great civilizations like the Mycenaeans, Hittites, and Egyptians faced sudden collapse. Cities burned, trade stopped, empires vanished. Some believe the Trojan War was part of this broader chaos. Maybe Troy was just one city among many to fall in a time of widespread warfare and migrations. The sea peoples, natural disasters, and shifting powers may have played a bigger role than we thought. The war might not have been isolated. It may have been a symptom of something much bigger. 6. What about the wooden horse? Ah yes, the wooden horse. Did it actually happen? Probably not the way the story tells it. Historians have proposed several interpretations. A siege engine or battering ram, later mythologized as a horse. A ship as horse was a poetic word for ships in some ancient cultures. A metaphor. Maybe the horse represented a deceitful gift, like opening city gates in exchange for something that led to betrayal. Or maybe it was just a symbolic image, turned into a dramatic twist by poets and bards. 7. Achilles, Hector, and other heroes. Were the great heroes real? Figures like Achilles, Hector, and Odysseus are legendary, but are they based on real warriors? They may have been real commanders, remembered through generations of storytelling, but their deeds were exaggerated. In fact, the name Achilles might refer to a title, not a person, like a tribal leader or champion. Some scholars think the characters in Homer's epics are composites, a mix of multiple real figures, merged into one mythic identity. Over time, oral tradition shaped them into the gods of the battlefield we know today. 8. Why the story survives. Why has the story of the Trojan War survived for over 3,000 years? Because it's more than a war story. It's about honor and pride, love and betrayal, revenge and fate. These themes are universal. The Greeks believed in fate, that no one, not even kings, could escape it. The fall of Troy is a warning that even the greatest cities can fall, that even heroes die. It speaks to human vulnerability, and that's why it lives on. 9. Hollywood versus history. Movies like Troy, 2004, made the story famous for a new generation, but they changed a lot. Achilles and Hector did fight, and Odysseus' idea for the horse. It's mentioned in later works, not in the Iliad itself. 10. Conclusion. Truth in the ashes of legend. So, what's the truth? The Trojan War likely happened, but not like the myths say. There probably was a city called Troy. There probably was a war, maybe even a long one, but not over a woman, and not with gods fighting in the sky. Instead, it was a clash of power, trade, and ambition. A real war, remembered by generations, reshaped into a tale of love, bravery, and fate. The truth is hidden in layers, myth layered over memory, memory over history. And in those layers, we find the real story of the Trojan War.